Hello guys, welcome back. In this lab, we are going to do a project. In this lab, we will see the power of Ansible. We will automate the entire LXC and LXD container creation with the help of Ansible. Here, we will use the LXD module of Ansible to automate the entire process. So let's look into the architecture diagram, what we are going to implement in this project. So let's jump into the architecture diagram. We are going to design something like this, where we have 7 LXC containers and each will be representing a node within the Kubernetes cluster. That node either belongs to master node or worker node, which we will look into next part of the course. But from here onwards, we are getting ready with the bare metal machines. These LXC container we will use in next part of the course, where we will design or manually install the Kubernetes cluster. In the second part of the course, we will design and deploy the Kubernetes cluster manually. And in the third part, we are going to use Ansible to automate the entire process. So before getting our hands dirty, I wanted to show that from where you can get the reference about this module. If you visit the Ansible site and search for LXD_container, then you will find this. So this is the module within the Ansible which will help us to automate the entire process. It is always a good practice to refer the documentation of Ansible. Whenever you start any kind of automation, you must first visit the site of Ansible, look for the documentation, what is the recommendation, and look all the parameters which is being provided over here. We will use it and look at the examples also. So what are the examples? It is really a good starting point to start or writing the instruction set in YAML. So let's jump into the terminal and do our hands dirty. So let's start writing the playbook. So as I already mentioned you how to write it. So first we have to tell that nano, the name of the playbook, we will give that XC automation .yaml. Now here what we have to do, where we want to create it. So first we want that host is going to be our this machine. That means it is going to be the local host. Then afterwards we need to specify over here that is going to be a local machine, which is what default value over here. Then afterwards we will tell that tasks. So what kind of task we are going to create, that we need to provide the name. So the name of the task which we are going to create over here is the creating LXD containers. That container is the module, which module we are going to use. This is called LXD module we are going to use. So we are going to use LXD container, and no tab use. I have used tab, sorry for that. Name, what is the name? Name we will come and define later. For time being, just leave it as is. So here we need to mention that state because we want that container should start, so it should be started. One more thing I wanted to tell you, that here LXD container is pulling from HTTPS site. So we must have to specify that cert file. There is a property called cert file. We can use it. I have already created that SSL certificate that is residing in the certificate location of Linux. So that I am going to use. Now we have to define the configuration. So So the configuration which we are going to use, it is config and so the CPU we need to mention like this. CPU, I'm going to use 2 CPU over here. Then I will tell that I want memory. So this is the syntax actually we have to use. If you look into that, then you will find that it is telling that these are the configuration over here. I have mentioned that. So memory is going to be 4 GB, and we need to tell that swap, we need to make it false. It is necessary whenever we are creating this thing. We need to mention it. To that we need to Linux kernel. I hate typing really, but I wanted to demonstrate that how we can write it from scratch so that it would be also good. You can copy paste this thing from the resource section, or you can write along with me. Anything is fine. To get comfortable, I want that you should be comfortable with understanding all these things. So after that, raw LXD. So this configuration which I am going to do a copy paste, because this is some configuration which we have to remember that, and you should also keep it as is. So I'm going to copy paste from one of the location. I'm going to copy paste from this location. So okay, now we need to mention that security dot nesting true. Then afterwards we have to mention privilege, security privilege to true. Now we have to mention the source from where we can get the image. The type of the source is going to be, the type is image. We want image, and mode is we are going to pull that. So we need to mention that we are going to pull it, and then afterwards we need to tell that server, which server from where we need to pull that image. That is, I also need to take it. Just that is, I also need to take it from here, paste it. Then afterwards we need to mention that protocol. So the protocol is LXD, and what the image we want, we need to mention that we are going to use Ubuntu Bionic /AMD 64. So again we are going to use the cert file because so we need to provide the certificate which we have created, then only that will give us the access to this image. Once we do that, we will move further. Now we need to mention the profiles. It is profiles. We need to tell that it is going to be the default to default. Now we need to tell that this is some of the setting which we need to remember. IPv4. By the way, you can copy this thing from resource section, so that would be really easy. Now also we need to provide the timeout so that if server is not responding, it will with item. Now here we need to mention that how many number of server we are going to create. So let's look into that. The diagram, we need to move into diagram. So we are going to create this thing there. So now what we have to do, we need to mention this thing. Okay, first we will create load balancer. We need to mention that. Now we will go back and create those. We need to provide those lists. I am going to give the name KTS load balancer KTS master 1. We are going to create one master machine, 3 masters machine, and so here we need to mention the second one, master 2, and then we need to mention master 3, and 3 worker node we have to create as per architecture diagram. Worker 2, okay, it is worker 3. So these are the LXD container we are going to create, and we need to mention over here, we have already left it blank, so we need to go there, and here we need to use inbuilt element that is called item over here. Now we are ready to go. So what we will do, we will run it, and this will spin off 7 LXD container. So let's look into that. Control X, yes. Control X, yes. We want to save it. But prior to execution, I wanted to break the screen, and we will look into that. We will go there. We will clear and look that any LXD container is there or not. So there is no LXD container existing. So we will clear it again. Clear, and I want to watch it. So LXD list we can keep over here so that we can see the execution process. Now come over here, Control V, and write cd Ansible labs, and here we will run it. Ansible Playbook inside inventory LXD automation.yml. So run it. So see here, it has started creating KTS load balancer. So first load balancer has been created now. So master 1 is getting created. So master 1 is also created now. Now it has started creating master 2. So master 2 also created. Now it will pick master 3. See here, it has started master 3 now. Now it created master 3 as well. Now it will pick up the worker node. So it has started creating worker 1. It's created worker 1 as well. Now it will pick worker 2. So now it picked up worker 2. So it has created worker 2 as well. Now it will create worker 3. See here. So this is the last node it is creating. As we already spin off 6 machine, now this is the 7th one and the last one. These machine we will use in the next part of the course, where we will deploy the Kubernetes cluster. That is done now. That's it guys. This is what I wanted to show you. So see you in the next session, or see you in the next part of the course. Bye bye.